Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review John Wick Chapter 4. And this is the fourth biggest and just boldest and most dangerous adventure that John Wick goes on. And he is at the point where he's just desperately trying to get out of this nightmare that he's been living in for the past 3 films. And things take him in this 2-hour and 50-minute epic that takes him all across the world, incorporates a lot of different kinds of genres, heavily influenced by spaghetti westerns, leading him up to this ancient-style duel to decide his fate with his brand new antagonist, the Grand Marquis, played by Bill Skarsgård, who is slimy and disgusting and driven by power and by the idea that he can finally be the man that kills Baba Yaga. And this whole entire film really captures a man's desperation. And this film, despite the fact being a John Wick film with tons and tons and tons and tons of action, takes the time to really look in at John Wick and look at his perspective, what he's really fighting for, his motivations, what drives him, and him just wanting to get out of this situation by any means necessary. And after some not great and unfortunate twist of fate that happens with him and his close friend Winston of the New York Continental, he must team back up and figure out a way to finally get out of this situation. And this film is big, bold, exciting, and thrilling. It adds a lot of soul, too, to this story, because not only do we have Wick's story here, we also have some new characters, like Kane, played by Donnie Yen, who is brought in by the Marquis to kill John Wick, his friend, somebody who he has this long relationship with. But Kane is motivated by some very deep personal and intimate themes and ideas that put him at odds with John and puts him on a collision course. And Yen's character, there's so much soul and personality to Kane, and Donnie Yen is an amazing performer and just brings that all out. You still have Ian McShane and Lawrence Fishburne doing their thing every time they deliver a line, just like chewing it up. Like I mentioned, Skarsgård is intimidating and slimy and just repulsive in the way that he's just so driven by power. And of course Keanu Reeves gives, his iconic, "I'm gonna need a gun" kind of John Wick line delivery. But the thing is, there's so much presence and power in the way that he acts in a scene, and obviously the physicality. He sells it all. You have others like you have Clancy Brown, who is this figurehead of the table who appears. You have Scott Adkison, who I'm not going to say anything about his character because absolute blast. Jameer Anderson, who's Mr. Nobody. He's a tracker. He's another one on the hunt. And his parallels to John Wick add some interesting layers to the story. And then there's a couple of major set pieces with the Ahsoka Continental in Japan that we get to meet Hiroyuki Sanada's Shimatsu and his daughter, played by Rina Sawayama, who plays Akira. And the two of them together are fascinating and intriguing characters, and for the limited amount of time we get to spend with them, they add a lot of depth to this story, and would love to see some from those characters in the future. And you have all these different characters. You have these big set pieces, like the Ahsoka Continental is an incredible set piece with amazing action and just absolutely gorgeous visual storytelling. You have the sequence in Berlin, which gets completely insane, and Scott Adkins's character is such a delight on screen. And you even get a little bit from Natalia Tina, who plays Katya, who's part of Wick's family, that he was a part of. And, of course, the giant big parasite piece to cap off this film is absolutely insane and unrelenting. I'm not going to talk about any of the action in detail because just experience it. It's just that amazing. You'll have a giant grin across your face. But Chad Stahelski is so fantastic at bringing this world to life and giving it its little moments and channeling these different important genres of influence like spaghetti westerns. He knows the action, the choreography. It's amazing. Dan Lauston's cinematography is absolutely breathtaking. It should be nominated for an Oscar. I'm not kidding. I'm saying it right now. This film uses music, whether it's score or some amazing techno, like dance music, or these interesting covers of classic rock themes like Paint It Black, and all of it just adds to the atmosphere, adds to the experience. This is a towering, epic, incredibly satisfying escalation of John Wick's story that adds so much depth to his character and grows this world and leaves you wanting so much more from these characters that we get introduced to and looking forward to maybe we get to explore them elsewhere. And this is how you do world building. This is how you do action. This is, might be bold to say, but one of the greatest action movies I've ever watched. And I'm still living in it. It was that amazing. And I have hands down easily my #1 film of 2023 so far. But those are my thoughts on John Wick Chapter 4. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.